Hi everyone, welcome back to the Tactical Insight Show. Another win to break down. I'm really looking forward to this. Although some early bad news, an early setback to our Monday. Graham couldn't make it to the studio. Unfortunately, Storm, what's the name of this storm, Graham? This is the second one in a couple of days, but stopped you coming in, mate. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I think this one's called Storm Franklin.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, I got to the rail network this morning and literally everything was delayed or cancelled. So, I mean, I had the same sort of scenario on Saturday, but luckily I did get to the game. But just about by nook and by crook, I made it just before the kickoff by leaving really early. But today, bearing in mind the schedule that you guys operate on, it's almost impossible to get up to the studio to record with you. So I'm sorry I can't be with you there today, but we're fortunate we got technology to put this together today. So it's nice to see you again and looking forward to today's breakdown.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And thanks for joining online. I know it's not quite the same, but we've still got lots of great stuff to go into. So it's not going to stop us doing what we always do, which is breaking down this, I keep saying crucial Arsenal win. Every win feels crucial, doesn't it? But let's almost start, as we always do, going straight into the numbers, the full-time match stats. Where better to start? And these reflect a very, very dominant Arsenal win. Just break them down for me, Graham.
Yeah, it was a very dominant performance, James. First half, I think we had 80% possession. We literally had 32 crosses into their box from corners and crosses. And 80% possession, 16 shots at goal. It was a totally dominant performance against a Brentford side who came with a back five, really. And I just think we totally dominated the whole game from the start to finish. If you remember when we played them at the Community Stadium early in the season, we obviously lost 2-0 that night. Only 4 players survived from that team, and they were Tierney, White, Xhaka, and Smith Rowe. So overall, a very dominating performance from start to finish. We should have won by more goals. We should have been more clinical. We literally, not only did we sling crosses in, we actually got shots in their box. But unfortunately, our number 9 didn't have his shooting boots on Saturday. But for all that, a totally dominant performance. Should have been more than 2-1.
I think that's the only disappointment, is that they got the late goal and that we didn't get more goals. And actually, the scoreline didn't reflect quite how dominant we were. I mean, people are at the game. I spoke to some people saying that it was sort of tepid, a bit slow. I sort of disagreed. I thought there was a pace about Arsenal's football, especially in the first half. Once we got the goal early in the second, you can understand why the tempo dropped a bit. Arsenal were in control and looking after what they had. But I did feel that first half was, maybe impressive, strong, but it was good from Arsenal. They did what they should be doing to a side like Brentford, which is having all the ball, keeping them pinned in their own half and causing them trouble. And I felt actually, while maybe the shots didn't always come off, the openings were there and Arsenal worked some really nice moves.
Yeah, they did. I thought, obviously, watching it in the stadium, normally I didn't feel any stress in that game at all. Normally when because everything was literally in their half. We literally kept them. We suffered them literally the whole of the first half, and they could barely get out. They obviously didn't have Tony up front, so they didn't have their normal out ball. They normally go long. They had the lowest accuracy of pass statistics in the final third in the league, so they tend to bypass their midfield and go long. They didn't have that option on Saturday. They had Mbeumo up with Wissa, but basically they were working back all the time. I thought they played really, they were very weak with their pressing. We played around their press very easily. Partey was able to build up very comfortably from centrally, and we were able to get our wide forwards and our number 8s up high to create good rotations throughout the game and to get ourselves in positions where we could sort of take advantage and create openings. I thought it was a very dominant display, James.
I think everything you said, Graham, we should illustrate on the tactical pad there, because is it time we start redefining a little bit what this formation is under Arteta? We keep saying a 4-2-3-1 with Xhaka and Partey at the base. Every time we're playing a side, in whether it's on Sky or BBC, that's how they illustrate it. But it's not a 4-2-3-1 anymore, is it?
No, I think over the last few weeks, we clearly gravitated to this 4-3-3 system, James. And the positions in this 4-3-3 for me are two number 8s in the half spaces, two wide forwards on the wing, and in the centre a number 6 and a number 9 and two centre backs. So that to me is how we gravitated to a 4-3-3. But do you know what? I think it's almost like a diamond when we build up at times, because you have like Partey at the base, you have Lacazette at the top of the diamond if you bring him in there, and then you've got these two wide forwards. Two number 8s on the left side and the right side. So Odegaard on the right and Xhaka in his new role on the left. So you've got like, that is almost to me like a diamond. So you've got like, as I said, you've got Partey at the base, Lacazette coming short, and then you've got your two number 8s either side on the left and right, and then you've got your two wide forwards. I think this 4-3-3 system, it's a system that looks to occupy spaces across the pitch, enables players to combine, switch play and isolate one-on-one moments on the other side of the pitch. And that's a lot what we were doing on Saturday. We were literally sort of like moving the ball up one side of the pitch. We had sort of like three players combining on one side and three players combining on another, and then switching it and getting one-on-one moments. You do have to have technical quality in the team to play this, because you've only got one DM in the side, who's Thomas Partey. Partey is probably playing, in my opinion, the most demanding role in the team. Yet not only does he have to be physically strong, he has to be technically good in build-up, and he has to cover space if we lose possession.
Yeah.
So he's playing a really difficult role, but he played it really well, and he was instrumental in the way we built up. We got the ball to him. I think Brentford, a very weak press, we played around it quite comfortably. And by the time they shuffled back into shape, Partey was getting it forward to one of our number 8s. I don't know about you, but I thought Odegaard had a really fine game on Saturday, and the way they played, was able to get in pockets of space on that right-hand side and combine with Bukayo Saka quite well, and Cedric was also coming up and joining in a 3 on that side.
Well, there was a lovely balance between the three. Whether it was, when we were talking about planning the show, you mentioned wide rotations, and I think, and I don't mean to speak for you, but I think what you mean, something I kind of noticed, was if Odegaard drifted wide, Saka was making that run inside, and then sometimes you might notice Cedric going around the outside or holding an inverted position, and between the three there was always a sort of a nice almost V shape. Do you know what I mean? Whether it was almost Odegaard was the pivot, and wherever he was, the other two were occupying either the width or coming inside. There was definitely a really nice understanding between them.
Yes, there was, and also the understanding on the other side was key as well, because what we've seen really is Granit Xhaka literally now out of his comfort zone, literally playing higher up, and he had the most progressive passes in that position in the game on Saturday. So the key to this, I think Arsenal were very predictable in their build-up before. Literally, the wide forward came inside, and Tierney would just bomb high. So literally, Tierney would bomb on the outside, and they looked to get crosses in that way. Teams have pretty much worked that one out. The advantage of Xhaka being up higher now is not only the combinations in those positions that offers the team, but basically it means that when Smith Rowe comes inside, it's Xhaka the one who's up high in the wide forward area, and then he can combine there, or Tierney can come on the outside, but Tierney can hold his position as well if we need to. This is obviously I don't think both these players are actually playing in positions that are their strengths. Xhaka likes to sort of sit deep and ping diagonals and build up that way, and Tierney likes to go high and cross. Is not so good sitting back more. But this is what the coaching that I think Arteta is now implementing on these two players. So we've seen a change to their role in the team over the last few weeks. So we're less predictable now. We did get lots of crosses in, and obviously Cedric got a lot of good crosses in on Saturday.
He did. He did well.
Tierney also got crosses in, but also Xhaka appeared in the penalty box quite a lot and got crosses as well. And he was often the one sometimes releasing Tierney, which gave, I think, their back three real issues, because did not know whether to stay inside or come outside. And I think this build-up, offers the team, I think, more flexibility if they're able to keep teams pinned in, We're able to sit higher up the pitch. We've got two quality centre-backs who are good on recoveries. So, I think this is working at the moment against obviously a weaker side. Where we can play this against the top sides is another issue, of course, but it certainly has worked, I think, in some of the games recently.
You mentioned Xhaka getting beyond. I mean, we saw that with the disallowed goal for Lacazette. It's Smith Rowe who feeds Xhaka, and that's not a kind of pattern of play we've seen too often. But another player you mentioned was Thomas Partey, and we actually have gone through his numbers because he just... I didn't think it was his best game in an Arsenal shirt, don't get me wrong, a couple loose passes here or there, but he is, as you mentioned, playing the most demanding role in the team. 90% pass accuracy, obviously 76 touches, involved in plenty of duels. He's crucial to what we want to do, to the football Arteta wants to play. And you can see when we don't have him, how much we miss him.
I thought he had a really good game on Saturday, James. I thought that he shifted the ball quickly. He was always available to receive the ball. The combination of Odegaard were working really well, and also he was able to sort of find space to keep the attack, to build the attack. So I thought he had a really fine game on Saturday.
Yeah, I've got to say, I love Thomas Partey, and you can see the difference in this side when he's there. Everything you've been talking about when it comes to, that diamond shape, Xhaka's role, what Lacazette does, the wide forwards, is all illustrated, I think, in a goal that we've got to break down. That's Emile Smith Rowe. Listen, we could go through all the numbers about, first to hit double figures since Fabregas and all these things, but... this goal was crucial because of the minute it came in. I think it allowed us to relax and enjoy most of the second half. But again, it illustrates everything you've been saying about the rotations out wide, offering different things. This time Tierney does get forward. Let's just show the goal once and then we'll break it down, because it comes from Lacazette, spraying the ball wide. Emile Smith Rowe then is running back. Obviously, Brentford at this point are frantically trying to get back. Tierney's there on the overlap. Smith Rowe cuts inside and just finds that corner. And by this point, we've got Tierney, Saka, Lacazette all in the box. But let's break it down again. What was it about this goal that impressed you?
I think the key to the goal actually is the run of Kieran Tierney, because he literally, when he as Smith Rowe's driving forward and Brentford did sit off, they didn't get a tackle. He was allowed to run. They might ask questions why no one engaged with him, but he was allowed to run from literally just inside our half. And I think the Tierney run is crucial because Aya then has a problem. He's sort of thinking, do I go and engage with Smith Rowe? Because if he does that, Smith Rowe is going to release Tierney on the overlap. So he literally doesn't really make a decision. He sits off. So the Tierney run, I think, is vital in that. Smith Rowe comes in on his right foot and it's a fine finish, and I think credit to Kieran Tierney there. And obviously, one thing I'll say about that was when I sat in the stadium, I watched him in the build-up practicing that, and he got about 3 or 4 in the corner past our keepers who were sort of practicing that before the game started. So I was literally at that end, James. So I watched him do that in practicing before the game started. And I knew what he was going to do. He was going to shift it onto his right foot and get it shot away into the corner. Goalkeeper got a hand to it, but it was a fine strike and a fine goal. As I say, I thought Kieran Tierney's role in that goal was crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran Tierney, crucial. I also wanted to point out something else in this. We mentioned the wide rotations. If we have a look back, we've got Odegaard, who's wide right, because in this situation, Saka has sensed an opportunity for the break. I think he knows Lacazette is going to go wide right with his pass into Smith Rowe. And Saka is making a darting run. I know he didn't score. I know he wasn't really part of the goal at all. But again, it's just showing that the front three were showing a little bit more flexibility than perhaps we've seen when the space does open up. So that was encouraging as well. And overall, just a good goal for Arsenal. And Smith Rowe, again, is adding to his tally. He's becoming such a potent goal-scoring midfielder. It's great to see, whether he does it from the left, the number 10, in central midfield, whatever it is. It's great. Another player I vaguely just mentioned there in the build-up, I thought was brilliant in the first half. You touched on him as well, Martin Odegaard. Just have a little look at his numbers. And here we have on screen 89% pass accuracy, 88 touches, 4 ground duels won, 3 dribbles attempted, 3 goal attempts as well. Was this Odegaard's best performance this season for you?
Yeah, I thought that. I did think that. I think he gets better every week, And he's so intelligent the way he took up space, his movement. He was really up for the game right from the off. He was the one sort of taking the ball, driving at their defence. I thought he was excellent in the game. He's a very good footballer to watch. Very nice on the ball, nice movement, lovely left foot. He knows when to play left, when to play right. He combined him really well with Saka. And that little combination play down that right-hand side with Cedric underlapping or overlapping, they worked some really good angles. Brentford, for me, sat really deep in the first half. There was no organisation between their press, James. I think the back three were very deep. The front two were trying to press, but there were holes between the teams. So Odegaard was helped by the way they played, I thought. I thought they left spaces for him to exploit, but for all that, he exploited it really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to go into something else, just in terms of how crucial the win against Brentford was. I know United went and won in Leeds pretty emphatically as well, 4-2. Spurs, that heart-wrenching sort of 3-2 win at City. I wanted to give a little bit of context to the top four race and why these games against Brentford matter. Starting with this that I'm bringing up on screen now. These are the 5 teams in the race for top 4, as things stand anyway. And I've looked at how many points they're picking up against sides outside the traditional Big Six. And I say that in quote marks, where you include Man City, Chelsea, United, Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal. Now, in terms of total points, Arsenal managed 39 out of 51, averaging 2.29. Now, that is the best average in terms of average points against teams outside the Big Six. United with 1.86, Tottenham averaging 2, Wolves 2.06 and West Ham with 1.73. What's also very interesting about this is how many games each side has had against teams outside the Big Six. United have had a total of 63 points up for grabs and have still managed only as many as Arsenal. Tottenham, I think, have played 1 game less than us against sides outside the Big Six. So it's interesting, whereas West Ham have played more as well. This bodes well for Arsenal, I think. And what I mean by that is Arsenal's challenge in terms of getting to the top 4. People always say you've got to be able to take points against the bigger sides. Yes, if you want to go and challenge for the title, if you want to go and really cement yourself in that top 2, top 3. Traditionally, the sides that have been getting into the top 4 the last couple of years, they've not really been getting more than 65, 66 points, maybe 70 points on the board. The task is to beat the sides you should beat. Now, Arsenal haven't always done that. As we've seen, there are still 12 points dropped against some of those sides, but they're doing better than their top 4 rivals when it comes to that. If I move on to this next graphic, in terms of how we're doing against the Big Six, it's a completely different situation. Only 3 points out of 18. That's 0.5 points per game. United have only had a total of 15 points up for grabs, have done pretty well. Spurs, not so great, but not bad. Wolves, West Ham a little better. Wolves doing okay. I mean, especially for what you'd expect of Wolves, with all due respect. So it's so interesting, sort of comparing and contrasting. Arsenal are very much in a position where, against the traditional Big Six, we don't seem to be at it. Played very well in the City game, sure. Did well at Anfield in the Carabao Cup, but in the league have struggled. But against the sides like Brentford, I mean it with all due respect, the sides that we should be beating, we are turning up. And that is a good trend, in my opinion, for this top 4 race.
Yeah, it's something we weren't doing last year, was it, James? We weren't beating the lesser sides last year. We were losing at home to the likes of Burnley. We lost at home to Villa. We lost at home to Wolves. And we had that run where we weren't beating the lesser sides. But yeah, so we corrected that this year. And the thing is that you've seen the numbers there. Tottenham got a fantastic win at Man City, but they lost at home to Wolves and Southampton. Yeah. And we beat Wolves and Southampton. So yeah, it's and to be fair, Arsene Wenger always used to get top 4, didn't he? By beating, he never had great records against the top 2 or 3 teams, but he had a fantastic record against the lesser teams. And I think if we do that, I think it gives us a great chance to get top 4 this season.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm trying to do some mental maths in my head of how many points are up for grabs out of the 14. I'll let you guys at home put that in the comment section. But the point is, That's where the points have to be won. And Arsenal are on a good trajectory in terms of that. And it's why I say these games against Brentford, this mini run we've got coming up and that we're kind of halfway through, that's why these games are so important. That's why the drop points at home to Burnley are so frustrating. But Arsenal do seem to be correcting that. You look last season, I think we did the double on Chelsea, didn't we? We beat them at the Bridge and at the Emirates, 4-1 on aggregate. We won against United at Old Trafford, but we still finished 8th. So Arsenal's challenge is getting those points against those teams. And at the moment, in terms of our rivals, we've got the best record when it comes to that. But let's hope we can do something against the big 6 sides. It's going to be crucial. Just very, very quickly, because we are into the final minutes. Should we have had a penalty or two, Graham?
I thought we should have had 3. I think John Moss took home the match ball, didn't he, for denying us 3 penalties. I thought the first one, in the same passage of bay, White and Lacazette were both fouled. Penalty there. Wissa, unnatural arm position. When Cedric hits his shot, it was going for on goal. Should have been a pen. And then Nicolas Pepe. When Pepe came on, he switched over to the right side when he came in, and Saka came over to the left. And Saka scored that brilliant second goal on the same side as Smith Rowe. He came over to the left-hand side. But when Pepe was on that right-hand side, he was fouled in the box as well. So yes, for me, 3 pens, Joe. Yeah,
I completely agree, Graham. Listen, for me, the Ben White one and the Pepe one, they're penalties, undoubtedly. But luckily, we got the job done. And what's that old cliche? Just don't let the referee be the reason. And I think Arsenal did their job, so well done. I thought it was a good performance. Arsenal now, well, I say go to it, was Arsenal host Wolves this Thursday. We'll try to break that down. We'll find time to make sure we do a breakdown around that, Graham. But I just want to say a big thank you again. I know Storm Franklin or something is disrupted our plans a little bit. But as always, guys, we're super grateful for your support on this show. We enjoy doing it, and no storm's going to stop us, breaking down another very impressive Arsenal win. Big thanks to Graham. Thanks to you guys. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And go looking for us in the comment section. We are there discussing the football with you, discussing your thoughts from a tactical perspective, what we got coming up, the season as a whole, whatever you want to chat to us about, we are there. So a big thank you again for your support, and we'll see you next time.